Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP Podcast Review Edition. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are two of my bestest best friends. I'm going to start with the man touching his nipple, CHUBAX.
Hello. I was so surprised. You're so sure going to more RJ. I'm CHUBAX. Welcome to our show. It's gonna be a good show. Got a new series, a new movie. You can call me Zaddy, sexy daddy.
Another one of our co-hosts and one of our
Yeah.
bestest best friend, the guy with the purple shirt, RJ.
Hey everyone, good to be here, and of course to be together with my bestest friends. So watch out for our reviews.
If this is your first time on the show, this is our review show where we review all the awesome shows streaming TV, theaters, video games, books, any cool content that we want to sink our teeth into, provide our opinion so that you know when to watch it, how to watch it, or if you should watch it at all. Usually we'll have one or two week-on-week series, and we'll have a main topic, usually a movie that will be easily accessible for you guys to watch along with us. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. The Plus 63 HP stable of podcasts can be watched on YouTube. Just search Plus 63 HP on that YouTube search bar. If you want to launch us directly from your browser, just type in bit.ly/Plus 63 HP. We are both on Twitter and on Instagram. Add us up, interact with us. Our handle is at Plus 63 HP. And if you don't want to see our pretty faces or RJ's pretty face, you can just listen to all of our shows. It is in every single podcasting app that you can think of. Just search Plus 63 HP. Next week, if you want to join us in the discussion, we will be continuing with the reviews of the Book of Boba Fett on Disney Plus. That'll be episode 4. And Peacemaker on HBOMax. Also episode 4. Our movie for next week is Ghostbusters Afterlife, delightful show with my buddy Paul Rudd. But this week, we'll be discussing first, like aforementioned, the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett, episode 3, entitled Streets of Tatooine. We have a new show. 3 episodes of the Peacemaker just dropped on HBOMax. So we'll be discussing our initial reactions to that series, where we see John Cena naked a lot. And our main topic is a movie that came out in the theaters 42 days ago. But now it's available on demand on streaming in Disney Plus. The Marvel's Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao. Housekeeping done. We are ready to jump into discussion. I'll start with Boba Fett, a little bit of a plot summary, and then we'll discuss what we thought about the episode. So episode 3, as like I mentioned, is entitled The Streets of Mos Espa. I said Tatooine a while ago, but it's The Streets of Mos Espa. Episode starts with Boba Fett being complained to, or being asked an audience from a watermonger, complaining that a bunch of kids, like bikers, stole water from him. Then we flash back to him negotiating when he was still, negotiating in behalf of the Tusken with regards to protection money, and then realizing it wasn't it's a flashback to show that sometimes you can get all of these protection money, these kickbacks and whatnot, but it becomes difficult when multiple people claim power over a certain land. So that was his original problem with his flashback when he was negotiating on behalf of the Tuskens. When he came back, he realized that the tribe that he was in was slaughtered by the Pike Syndicate. So then back to the present time,
I don't think it was the Pike Syndicate. It's the biker gang.
Oh, it's the biker gang. Sorry.
Well,
and I don't think it's all, because the bodies there was just like 4. So maybe
just their own, because I think it was retaliation because he took their speeders
Diba?
for the train heist, right?
So maybe
That's
they
right.
captured
That's right.
the others because we didn't see the
Yeah.
main ones. So,
Mhm.
okay, sorry.
There were a lot of dead bodies. There was a little scene there that I wanted to discuss a little bit later about the small stick that he was
Holding.
throwing into the fire. I didn't understand it until I kind of
It was
rewatched a couple
the
of
kids.
episodes. It was the kid's stick.
So the kids.
Yes.
The kid's dead. Well, that's presumably so. But going back to present
They also
day,
had a shot with the kid. So apparently there's a flashback when he
exactly.
was walking down. There was a flashback of the kid. So he's kind of remembering, I guess, he has the memories of each of the Tuscan that he was close to. So since
Mhm.
they did that scene remembering the kid, I think that kind of indicated that, oh, this kid's gone.
Exactly. And then we go back to present day when the cool black Wookiee bounty hunter,
Chrysanthemum.
Black Chrysanthemum, attempted to assassinate him while he was in the back of the tank. Luckily, at this point, Boba was already able to draft the kids that
biker
was
gang.
stealing from the so watermonger as a bit of protection, so they were able to subdue Black Chrysanthemum, and of course with the help of the Gomorians and with the help of Fennec Shan, they were able to trap the Wookiee into the Rancor pit. Since then, the Hutts, after that, the Hutts came to apologize about sending Black Chrysanthemum as a gift. For recompense, they gave him a baby Rancor with its trainer as gift. Delightful. Did not see that coming. Also, even more delightful.
The
Fucking Danny
trainer.
Trejo
Yeah.
is the trainer. Holy fuck. That is the shit.
Because he
And
usually
then,
works with Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, it's I think it's perfect. He looks like a Rancor trainer.
He does look like a record.
I didn't realize that he did, but he did look like it. And then towards the end of the episode, that's when a lot of conversation between the twins, the Hutts, and Boba happened, where the twins were kind of alluding to a bigger war coming to Tatooine to claim the land. So the Hutts are leaving because the Pike Gang is coming, and the Hutts were advising Boba to do the same, but Boba is wanted to stay. That's his land, claiming of the land. Instead, he got an audience. He again towards the end of the episode, they wanted to get an audience with the mayor. Mayor was not there. Mayor is assumed to be working with the Pike Gang directly. Mayor's assistant tried to escape the questioning of Boba, but Boba and his kids, his biker gang kids, was able to capture and subdue the mayor's assistant, confirming that the Pike Gang is coming back and will be taking a little bit more power over Mos Espa. And that is The Streets of Mos Espa, episode 3 of
The episode 4.
Boba-
3.
the
Yeah,
book of the Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba Fett. Right. With that, I'm gonna pass it to Jay. What do you think about the episode? Favorite storylines and things that you want to discuss?
Sure. I think that this episode is slowly connecting his past in the Tusken Raiders more with the current present situation. So you start to appreciate both sides of Boba Fett. Secondly, the assassin I felt was either he was really good and stealthy for a big, I don't know, 9-10 foot Wookiee to get inside his fortress without anyone being alerted. Man, he was strong enough to be able to whoop Boba's ass. Well, given the fact that he was caught off guard, of course. His adopted biker gang also got whooped in a way. The two Gamorreans also had it handed to them. He even, he's so underhanded. He even bites his enemy. So that's pretty awesome. Like, do whatever it takes, right? But one thing that that I was actually wondering. So what's the name of the assassin that's like his
Fennec?
right hand, the female.
Fennec
Fennec.
Shand.
So she triggered the trapdoor to open. And then what's the name of the Wookiee assassin?
Chrysanthemum.
Black
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum. Black Chrysanthemum, right? He was hanging by his hand. I mean, if you had someone who came in and tried to assassinate you, you'd probably, I don't know, at least shoot him or kill him right away. But I felt like one of the biker guys were about to, but then Fennec actually threw a knife instead so that he'd fall inside. I guess to ask more questions before
It
just
was a
ending
it was also a
someone right
bargaining
away.
chip.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But also,
I
like, even at the
suppose.
end, I would assume that Boba, he did mention that, no hard feelings because it was
It-
He
it's
was
just
a
business.
bounty hunter. Yeah,
so-
that's true. Nothing personal. That's true. That's true. Fair enough.
And I
But
really
favorite
hope that-
storyline there was really gifted that calf of a rancor.
baby ring.
I like
Love it.
I know. I like how its eyes were covered because it attaches itself. It imprints itself
Imprints
to the first being that it sees when it opens its eyes. So in this case, that was Boba Fett. So he was inspired, I suppose, by Danny Trejo's story about a witch riding on a rancor.
Death
I want to
Ranger.
ride this rancor.
Yeah, fuck
I
the
wanna ride
I
it.
ride it too.
Why would you want a litter of people pulling you up? You have fucking
Exactly.
rancor. That's fear.
Ride a fucking rancor. Fear and respect, man. That's Boba. And with that one, I saw how gentle he was as well. And when he had to leave, the rancor acted like a little puppy, like don't worry, he'll be back soon. He had to be reassured that Boba was gonna come back. So I like that part. That it showed rancors not just as evil fighting machines, but as real
Yeah.
beings that have feelings too.
I love that line
So-
from the trainer where he said, where Boba asked, I thought they just fought. That's what they're known for because that's what
That's what they're for.
they're
known
do
for their
good.
power.
Yeah. So that's what most people know them for. But there are other stuff.
Correct.
So
They're
that's-
actually gentle beings. They only become violent when they're threatened. So, it makes you realize that just because it looks like a monster, it doesn't have to be one.
and it still looked small compared to episode 6, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's
was
right.
bigger.
It was still small.
Hopefully it'll grow pa.
Exactly. And that's when
Uh,
Boba should write it.
CHUBAX, what do you think about the episode favorite storylines before we go to our ratings of episode
I
3?
I really enjoyed this episode, but it's just like how do I say this? There's a lot of nitpicky stuff that's popping up for me, and it's more on like some of the steps that Boba took or is taking that he wasn't that smart or something, like he didn't think it through. Like he keeps saying protection for the Tusken Raiders. They can't seem to protect themselves. Like
That's true.
he makes them look like they know everything in this desert. They'll protect you, the train and stuff. You don't need, but then they just get taken out by a biker guy. Like, there's no thought, or he just thinks too much of the Tusken Raiders or something. And then also him sliding into the seat of power as the daimyo. Is it just literally him, the droid, Fennec, and the two Gamorreans at the start? It's like,
Looks
and
like it.
and he thinks he has control of everything already. It's like some missteps here and there of I don't know if they were just in a hurry, but those are my nitpicks. Like they started with some shaky legs just to get things done, but everything else, I love how his group's coming together. I love the biker kids. I love that was so cool. I love the two Gamorreans getting some action. I just need more names though. Name those guys. Name the group. Name the Gamorreans.
Wait, isn't there names in the subtitles?
Yeah, the Gamorreans not yet. I think there was one or two for
Oh, the
for
Gamorreans are
kids.
just Gamorreans.
For now. I think.
Gamorreans, yeah.
So I want them
But
names.
you're
So,
right, no? How can you take over Mos Espa with just 5, 6 people? I mean, five plus
and it's
biker
like,
gang
and
of
he's
what?
surprised. It's like,
10?
why are you surprised? You don't even know anything about this. How these things run, and then you're surprised that Summer's not scared. Of course, they're not gonna be there. You're new. They don't know anything.
Hmm.
And then
And
But
go.
but the
well,
end of the episode, they did say something about, a war is coming. Don't worry, we'll be ready. Hopefully with more than just 10 people. I
No, but
mean, because
yeah, that it's
that's
starting because those his biker gang is cool. I like that they're all different.
I
The
know. I like that.
the chase went a little too long in my taste, and for some
Yeah.
reason it didn't have the speed. They seem to move really slow. I didn't get
I think the
I,
speeder with the levitating thing is, I think, limiting their,
yeah.
because they're trying
So
to do it half green screen, half practical, so it's shot
I know. So
weirdly.
it wasn't. It didn't convey the speed as much as I was. It's like they're running on skateboards or something. It was slow. But
It does seem like it.
I did, but I still like them. I think the girl was cute, and I like the small quip with the
Hmm.
bobas. Keep an eye on them, and then sorry,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And then I love Danny Trejo, the Rancor. I didn't see that coming. Also, and that was awesome. And then
Hmm.
the I hope Black K comes back or Chrysanthemum. I think
Yeah. I
he's
didn't
gonna be
expect
looking
pala
for a new guy.
I
For a
didn't
new boss,
expect
I
the
mean.
Fets. I didn't
To
expect the
come.
twins to actually apologize because I know they're very proud
Yeah,
beings.
well,
So
Boba Fett also saw something there because he's right. The Fets wouldn't just do that.
It's a
He
play.
it's a
yeah,
play because they want us to fight, right?
it
Because it makes them
works.
Exactly.
stronger.
Yeah.
So maybe maybe they're goading him like, oh, you should run too, but
Hmm.
he knows
And
that.
giving him the Rancor as a weapon too, so they can kill each other, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, so
whoever's
yeah,
left,
Possibly.
the
yeah.
Huts will.
So that was smart. So yeah, that was
Hmm.
cool, and yeah, excited. Some foundation, shaky foundation, but it's still building nicely. So
Yeah,
I like it.
Yes.
I still don't like that he keeps going to the back to tank without
back to
any.
Back
tank.
to tank.
We needed some more explanation
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
back to tank, but it seems like it's healing because he put the Gamorrean there, like it's for healing. But what is he still continuously healing, right?
and
So maybe just the scars. Maybe
I
he
mean
wants to go back.
he still kicked ass as in
Mhm,
his fucking boxers.
mhm.
He
That's
stayed.
true.
He was able to hold his own a little bit. I just don't know why the security sucked. Why why was
That's
it?
true. You
Well,
just
But then
maybe
again, if
maybe
he is a
because there's only
professional,
5 of them.
mhm.
that is true.
Well, you also,
May-
again, a few things there is like, right. Black Chrysanthemum is one of the best assassins, so I will give you a pass that you were able
Yeah,
to
that's
get to
true.
him by yourself.
And dude,
Uh,
he just looks so good. That
I,
suit,
I like
Yeah.
I cannot stress it enough. Like last week, he
and the
looks good.
eyes, the big eyes, right?
Yes,
It's cool. It's really cool.
it looks
It's very
real.
expressive.
It's like a real person. So if I saw that in person, man, I was like, are we being invaded?
Yeah, and
But is it not Is it not CGI lang?
no,
I
I
don't
think
think
it's
so. I think it's a suit like
practical. See,
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca has always been practical, or
Yeah,
the Wookiees have always been practical.
that's
So,
But
true.
this guy,
um,
he's muscular. Because Chewbacca's always
mm,
been very
tall and slim.
yeah, tall and
Lanky.
lanky. There was a term, yeah. So he didn't really
Mm.
look imposing. This guy's like
He was just
square.
big. Yeah, this guy's
The
This guy
way that the
muscular.
lifts.
brows,
He lifts.
the the gray streaks, it's I mean, just the character design is
Mm.
perfectly tactfully done. But yeah, to close out, I'm a little bit more aligned with Chewbacca because it's enjoyable. I've been loving every episode of Book of Boba Fett. I think
Mm.
this is not as good as the last episode. The last episode was a killer episode. It was long. There was a training montage. There was everything. So this one, of course, will naturally be a slight step down. Small nitpicks, like what Shubax has mentioned. The fight choreography is not the best. Like I think it's seeing. I think it's because we're just so used to super great fight choreography everywhere that we watch that if you're not top tier,
Mm-mm.
you kind of see it. And also the chase scene. There were bits that looked cool, but there were bits that were like, oh, you are really like being carried around, being driven by something instead of like me feeling like it's an actual speeder. But that's probably be the episode budget. It's a TV show. You don't have movie budget here, so you have that.
That's true.
My biggest nitpick though is in the start of the episode, Boba is now finally being briefed by the droid about the families, about who holds them, about what they do. It's like, bro, isn't that the first thing
Day
that you do?
one.
It,
Day
it
one.
took you a couple of
Yeah.
meetings with multiple people before you're
3
able to ask,
episodes.
like, okay, so what's up now? Because I've been gone for 5 years or something like that, right? So that's the only thing. But overall, I still um the good thing is like, yeah, it's not perfect, but it is way above average enough to enjoy that. All right, the little bits and pieces are being built. I still love the dual timeline. I love the idea that, it kind of like there are symbolisms about the episode itself. Like, his tribe being slaughtered while he was away kind of shows how difficult it is to be in a place with multiple daimyos or multiple claims. But also the idea of like, all right, you're recruiting a team, you're building a team, you hire people, dumb. It took him a while, but he finally hired the people that were supposed to be in stealing stuff from the watermonger. But also the most important part is he's seeing uh, the way that he wants to control a territory is slightly fair. So when he took on the watermonger's request to punish or subdue the kids that stole water, like they talked about the context why they stole, why a week's worth of
He
water is
listened. Yeah.
costing a month.
months
So
months wage.
he's seeing that corruption or criminals aren't necessarily the ones that are just doing crime, but even just like supposedly legal businessmen and women like this. So I like it. I enjoyed it. Let's end with our own rankings. Let's start with you, Jay. How will you rank episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett?
This one for me was meaningful. I did like the rancor part, but I'll put this around. It's not as entertaining as the previous episode, so I'll put this at
Oh,
8.5.
shit. That happened. I knew it.
Which
I knew
one?
it was gonna happen.
You're gonna oh shit.
No, it's
Oh
fine.
my
Easter
God.
eggs.
It happened again. My God, I was gonna go check the scores from before.
Easter eggs.
I can just dictate it to you for
Oh my
you
God.
know
Wait, let me
I'll
write it.
move it.
No. Let me write it down so I know the
I
time
moved it.
spot.
I moved it much higher, like slide 32. Ayan na. So you
I
can
knew it.
scroll up na.
23 minutes.
So I
God
scored
damn
last
it.
time 9 to 9.5.
Okay.
Chewy scored 8.5 to 9, and Jong gave it a solid 8.5 for episode 2. So my episode 3 right now is 8.5. How about you, Chewy?
8.5. I'll go 7.5 for me, just because of the nitpicks.
Mm.
But
Generally, it's going down, huh? But still good.
yeah, I still enjoyed. My thing is, what's coming out from the 3 episodes is he's not that smart. Boba.
Mm.
Yes,
He's
he
he's
isn't.
badass. He's honorable, but it's not that smart. And I would like it if they leaned into it, like if it was intentional. But if it's not intentional, then that's where it's gonna be a nitpick. But I wouldn't mind if they say, if it comes up in the show that you need to be smarter, or somebody comes in to helps him with the decision or the strategy. If they address it, I would like that more. But yeah, so far that's the thing that's popping up, which is okay. I mean, not everybody's supposed to be smart, or really smart.
Perfect.
You know?
Yeah, you're not supposed to be
But
great in
if
everything.
you're a leader, then he needs to find somebody that will address that weakness in him. So we'll see.
I will be ranking it. It's a solid 8. It's a very, very
Eight.
strong 8 for me. And the only, again, like what Chabas just mentioned, the only thing that kind of like bumps it down is actually for me, like sometimes like the decisions around the characters, strategy, intelligence. It's a setup for him to have like a cooler payback towards the end. I'm more like my nitpicks is more of like choreography, both the fight choreography, the chase scene, right? So those
Mm.
are the things that like really took me out. But again, it's still an extremely strong um, episode. Um, I'm getting I'm getting concerned about the pacing though because we have 3 more episodes left,
Oh,
and
just
then
six.
Mm.
I think it's just 6 episodes, and I think and it's a lot of story to cover. The Pike Syndicate, the mayor. Maybe it ends as like you don't because I would want to see him actually reap the benefits of being the
Being a
daimyo,
daimyo. Mm.
right? Daimyo. So hopefully we will have
7.
enough
It's gonna be
of
7.
that. Also 4 more episodes. So okay, maybe we do have enough, but I'm hoping that we get it all um in those particular
Yeah.
the last 4 episodes. So
I'm
with
betting
that,
it'll end with like the first skirmish of the war with the pike.
oh,
Like the first.
Possibly.
so
So
Yeah.
for the next
fuck.
episode, he's still building his group, and then
Mhm.
because he can go to war with like
Five
10.
5 guys, 2 guys,
Chrysanthemum.
yeah, like 10, literally 10. Like there 5 biker guys. Oh, 4. There's only 4, right? I know from when they came to the mayor,
I
there was 4
think
bikes.
4.
I think 4. So Boba
we
and
have to review 4. Yeah.
Tugamorians, the Rancor, and Danny Trejo. I don't think the droid.
Hopefully Chrysanthemum will join in.
I know. I hope Chrysanthemum joins. He's looking for a
Hopefully.
home.
He needs more action and he needs more screen time, man.
He needs a home.
I wish that he check Chrysanthemum just check joins Boba
Yeah, that's
Boba.
what.
permanently.
Permanently.
Yeah, permanently.
That'll be
All right.
badass.
That's it for episode 3 of the Book of Boba Fett. Up next, new show from HBO Max, John Cena. I haven't seen who's acting there, but it seems like it's a good show. So Peacemakers episode 1 to 3. This is just going to be our first reactions of the episodes. We'll want to give you guys a chance to watch the show for yourself. It's super delightful. So Chubax, like run us through what's Peacemaker, first 3 episodes of it.
So after Suicide Squad, the movie, is it part 2? They didn't say, right? Just Suicide Squad.
Just
the
the
second
Suicide Squad.
Okay,
The
so
more
Suicide
recent
Squad.
one.
After the Suicide Squad, where Peacemaker survived his gunshot wound, he emerges from the hospital. And he's immediately taken in by a new task force from Argus, led by Clemson Mern, who's like was a mercenary before, but he's the team lead right now, along with Harcourt, the badass female operative. The other one, economist. That the name?
Who's
I keep-
economist?
the
It's
hacker.
Mern.
Wait.
Oh, the hack
the-
John
Diebeard.
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 Economos. John Economos. The tactical hacker support, and then we get Adebayo. Leota Adebayo, as she's like their gopher for now. So yeah, they recruit him for a project called Project Butterfly. They don't tell him shit, and then he goes home. He meets his dad. Gets Eagly, his bird, and then first episode's
Eagly.
more of him interacting with the team, then getting the dossier for the Project Butterfly, and then at the end he tries to hook up with Harcourt, who doesn't want it, and then he finds another girl in another woman in the bar, and then proceeds to have naughty time with her, and then she ends up her trying to kill him, and then we got a nice action scene there, and then in the end he wins obviously, and then by episode 2 they try to escape the police who was surrounding the building because of that fight, and then stupidly Economos changes the prince to his dad. What? How stupid can you be? I mean, that was
I thought that they weren't going to address it directly, but I'm
Me too.
glad that they did.
I thought-
like
Mm.
so many other people that
In
you
the
can
world.
frame. So many other people.
I was
But no, we're gonna frame the dad.
I was in the same boat, dude. I thought that was like a misstep in the writing team. Like, that's freaking obvious. And then Bourne comes in and like, what the fuck are you doing? And then so they go arrest the dad, and then the dad's revealed to be like the White Dragon. I think he's like a racist super villain or something in the comic books. I don't know here. So he could be
I
like
mean, I haven't checked, but like
he could be like a Punisher
he did the
type.
helmet.
Yeah, he could
He
be
has,
like
like-
a I think he's like more like a Punisher, but the racist version, you know?
The racist version
With
of a
cool
Punisher.
tech.
Yeah, with the cool like his room was like the weapons room was awesome, and then we meet Vigilante, who I love. I love immediately, and then he Smith gets
His butt dance.
yeah,
Doing the butt dance.
And,
Doing the butt dance.
Peacemaker, you know, gets shunned by the team, and then he meets Vigilante, and then they have fun shooting shit up, which is really fun. And then a third episode is just basically them trying to kill the first targets that they have. A senator who's a butterfly, but we don't know what that is until the end. We figure that out. But in between, they get captured, Vigilante and Peacemaker, and by Judo Master. And then
Judo master.
A tiny Asian dude.
and then in the end they escape, and then they capture him, and that's about it for Peacemaker. So it's been fun. Let's wait, Jong, what do you think of the first
I love this show in all the wrong ways. Yeah, there is, because I'm a plot heavy dude. I like shows with supreme through line, so to keep me engaged. But this show is just fun.
I love it.
It's so basic that every episode is very, very clean. To be honest, it's more like a character study than anything else. Like we really dive into who Chris is, who Peacemaker is, why he was built, why he was born, why he's like that, why he was picked by this task force, why the people in the task force love him or like him, even like the analysis of the task force about him. Like, right, you know, he's stupid and yada yada yada, but he has this strong sense to belong. So we can use that to our advantage to take advantage of of Chris Peacemaker. And I love that they're not forcing, because like usually if this was a K-drama, the first 2 episodes will just be every single backstory of every single character that we're seeing on screen. Right.
Oh,
So
that's
this
pretty
one,
good.
it's just like a little, it's mostly Peacemaker, but the unique backstory of Adebayo. Right. I don't want to spoil it yet. Maybe we will, but like we'll put spoiler warnings. The unique like little hints of Mern, but we don't see a lot about like Harcourt's. They talked about Harcourt's origin story,
But it's
high
by
school
the
to CIA,
third episode.
CIA to DCU, and then Argus, yada yada yada. But no actual deep conversations about it. So does John. A little bit about a little bit about like Vigilante too. So it's super cool. The thing that I love the most is they're really, really leaning into comedy that is not slapstick. Like it's not just like fun and games. It's very well grounded comedy. My favorite bit is when the fucking wife in the second episode was saying like, "Are you trying to fuck our captor?" Fucking love it. So those are the comedy bits there. I totally enjoy. And they
not like she didn't.
with Vigilante with Vig.
With Vidge.
So yeah, I mean, there's some certain stuff that I kind of like hope that they didn't do in the trailers, like because in the first three episodes they really or at least like episodes 2 and 3 they really leaned into Vigilante being very careful about his identity, but in the trailers we see him already, so it's like
True.
so but yeah, that's I'll stop there. But I get super love John Cena. I love how he gets beat up in every episode, and I love that he tries to fuck a lot. Like he's really trying to fuck.
He was in prison for
I'm
5 years, bro.
100%. Like it's super cool. I love the idea that all right, this is a very humanized superhero in a world where superheroes are quite normal. Like that I love the idea. It's like small guy in green's like shit judo master. But
No,
yeah,
with-
Jay, what
with-
do you think about the first 3 episodes?
I loved it. I loved the episodes. I was laughing. My wife couldn't understand why because she wasn't watching. But I like the music. I like the intro.
Mm.
Even the intro itself.
Oh,
it's so
never
Oh,
skip the
dude.
intro. Never skip the
So
intro.
good.
We should learn the steps to that. That's awesome. Hardcore can't dance though, but I saw that in the intro she couldn't keep up with the.
I mean,
beat
half
or
of
with
them
the-
couldn't
with the
dance.
steps.
That was the
point. I know, but it was hilarious. I love that part. So yes, Jong's right. I never skip the intro.
She's the girlfriend of James Gunn,
James Gunn.
of the director writer. You know, James Gunn was married
Good.
first before.
With who?
Not really.
He was married to Pam Beasley.
Who's playing?
The Office. Tammy.
Oh fuck, Jenna.
Fisher. Yeah,
look at
that's who she was
you.
married before.
Interesting.
Good tidbit. I did not know that.
Yeah.
The music, the soundtrack is great. I
Yes.
love the songs that they selected. It really it's something that I would enjoy listening to. I even already followed it on Spotify, so Spotify has a Peacemaker official soundtrack, so that's pretty good. Jong's right. I like how human Peacemaker is and how typical American it is. I mean, not to sound racist, but out of or typical male, alpha male, typical
Mhm.
alpha male. So everything out of hardcore's let down of him. The only thing he caught was, so I'm handsome. So you think I'm handsome? I'm like, dude, there's more to it than that. But you're right. I guess, I'm not really looking. He was very straightforward. I'm not looking for a relationship. I just need,
Genital to
genitalia
genital
to
contact.
genital.
No touching.
I've been
I need to touch.
No touching, nothing, no touching above here. Wait, no, above here, because I want
I need
to
to touch your
fondle
boobs.
your boobs. I mean, I love how seriously straightforward he is, that he's so insensitive that he doesn't get it. But then I guess human aspect to it is that when you realize his relationship with his dad, he really just want to please his dad
Mhm.
when he visited him. And anything he did for his dad seemed to be a disappointment. So for him to make his dad at least show some affection or some emotion towards him, he told the story of Bloodshot
That's
being totally abused as a kid, and totally afraid of rats, and that's what made his dad laugh until he was choking. Until he
Choking.
realized, don't tell me
Who shot you?
that's the guy who shot you.
There's
There's a lot of things I don't
in
want to talk about.
classified.
I know. It's so, and that's again, his dad goes back, I'm so disappointed in him. But despite that, I still feel his dad really loves his son. When they went into that high-tech armory, the masks or the helmets were still all well maintained. So I would assume that he's been creating or at least keeping it up, waiting for his son to be back. Um, how typical. He already guessed what Project Butterfly was going to be about because he said, last time it was called Project Starfish, and it was this
It was a
giant starfish that was trying to take over the world. Don't tell me we're gonna fight about We're gonna fight Mothras.
Mothra. I'm gonna fight Mothra. Can I get a jetpack?
No, we're not gonna find Mothras. No, you can't get a jetpack. No, I still want to get my jetpack because you made me want it. I mean, I love how he returns back. I don't know what do you call that? Naive? It's not naive. It's just
I think it's
he's
naive.
being
I think it's
Yeah,
naive.
it's
Naive,
naivete.
right?
It's a little bit of just like he's very simple.
Yes, he is very simple. He's very straightforward. He doesn't think he's offensive. He's like a kid learning things along the way, and that's what I like about him. He's not a superhero that assumes that I know everything. I'm the right one. You follow me. Well, he thinks so, but at the same time, there's a lot of things he doesn't understand. There is something more about his dad that I want to see in the upcoming episodes, because when he was jailed, all the white people, I guess,
Yeah,
white supremacy.
He's
in
a white
this space.
supremacist.
And it looks
He's
like
based-
it.
right?
He's based on a white supremacist in the comic books. Like
Okay.
like a super
So
villain.
that's why they call him the
White
White Dragon.
White
The
dragon.
White Dragon. I wonder what he used to do. But I guess the cops are also familiar with him
Yeah.
in some ways.
Yeah, they did
Um,
mention they did refer to him as a super, and then they said that Belle Reve and the other place is full.
Yeah.
That's true. And it really shows how racist he is, calling the Asian cop, what do you call chopsticks? Hey, chopsticks. I don't like what kind of soup was that? Some Asian soup as well, Chinese soup as well. Anyway, so he's really offensively racist. But for those that are sensitive watching the show, please don't be offended. It's just part of the storyline. Eagly was
Oh, the
amazing. I
best.
just hope there's more action. Dad, get my phone. Take a picture. This is Dad.
I don't want to move. I don't want to move. Eagles.
But it's so cute. It was so cute. When he saw Peacemaker after 5 years, he was so happy, jumping, and just couldn't stop talking. But anyway, yeah. More racist themes was when they went against Judo Master. Asian, very small, moves around, shouts, doing kung fu. Judo Master, name itself, very Asian. Oh man, you just end up laughing about how blatantly racist their themes are, but it's not that bad. Looking forward to the next ones.
I took a dump and looked back, and I thought it was you. Great.
Oh, big white man.
Great. The best.
know.
CHUBAX, what do you think about the episode?
Oh, I love the series. It's amazing. It's like what you said. It's like a character study too. So even all my favorite stuff are all the dialogue. It's so good. It's like, and yeah, with Chris, with Peacemaker, it's like you can see how he became like that. He's not a bad guy. He's like he's actually a really nice guy, but he just grew up, I think, one, isolated by the dad,
Yeah.
two, a fucked up dad,
Mhm.
and so growing up, he wants friends, and he grows up with all these lines that he doesn't know what it's about, and he just wants to belong. He wants to be a hero. He just doesn't know how. So it's so cool how he interacts with everybody. Because to be honest, he's even trying to be extra careful not to be bad, or mean, like the lines he's saying. He just doesn't know what the lines are saying. Are the sweet cheeks,
Sweet cheeks.
sugar tits. And then I hope we get more of the other characters, because like Adebayo's so good. And a little spoiler here, but is it like she's a master spy? Like, is that her thing? Like,
No.
is that her natural talent? I was like,
No,
what?
her talent is nepotism.
No, because I think she's like, I think her natural talent is like fooling everybody.
Well,
Making it look like she
I
doesn't
don't.
know anything. But I think
I
she
think
knows a lot
she's
of things.
just yeah. I think she just like she knows how to strategize, but we see her freeze up
We don't
with
know if that's on in plan though.
true. But
So
I think she does. But I still think this is one of those like you're just the kid of this person. That's why that person can trust you with the bigger picture. So maybe
I don't,
again that there is a bigger picture than the
yeah,
butterfly.
I
So
don't know. I think there's more to it because uh the mom it's showing that she's been doing this before. Because the mom doesn't want to let her go to do some other stuff
mhm,
because she can do something, and I think
mhm.
it's like either fooling them, everybody making look it like she doesn't know what she's doing, or there's something else. But yeah,
So
like
I'm excited so far. Like this character, I dig the, like she had the speech the first time that Adebayo was introduced to the
it's
people.
so
Like
good.
I know I'm not supposed. My head knows that I'm not supposed to do a
To make a
speech,
speech,
but
and then she
I
keeps going.
promise that I will learn. I'm a team player. It's like fuck, it's cool.
And
I'm gonna keep quiet now,
it's so cool
and
because
then
like
I'm done.
even Mern, like at first I couldn't understand, like, is he a badass authority figure? Sometimes he's like fading in the background, because if you're authoritative, it's usually you're always popping up.
Mhm.
Even if you're in a group, you always stand out. But sometimes, like in the diner, he's just like, what? He's like one of the guys, and then I like that there he has a past too and stuff. But yeah, mostly all the interactions are just so good. Even the freaking cup and this that, like, you fork. Why'd you call him a fork? It should have been a spoon. Everybody, I don't care. Like
Everyone in the world uses a fork.
the
Yeah,
cop,
but he doesn't know that.
even the cop was like petty and stuff. I mean, the guy was an asshole and racist. So I like that she snapped back. Like she didn't hold it for her. It's so good. I even love
Oh,
Vigilante too. It's so good. It's like that guy's a serial killer, no
That's
doubt.
a real serial killer.
I like her. I got a killer who can't kill. And then he goes like, he's whistling and then,
he was
bang,
humming.
bang.
Take a second. Take a second. Chris, like Peacemaker, take a second. I got this. Pew pew.
And
Billy
then,
Bernstein,
and then
Mommy Bernstein,
they
Yeah,
were I posted
this
it
should be
on,
Bernstein,
Berenstain.
I posted it on
Stain.
Bernstein.
I posted it on Facebook. They were why don't you keep your torture shit? your torture. It's not sharp. It's dull. It's not cutting my toe. Motherfucker.
Dude, that was I felt a bit grossed out at that part. Ah! Why
No,
is
but
it not cutting off?
because
Because
it's
your
dull,
tools aren't they're dull. You don't keep your tools sharp. And
I
at the same time, the guy was like rubbing,
no, and
trying
I
to
love
cut
how
it
he
off.
changed from. He was like, dude, if you lose your toe, you're gonna fall over. It's the most important. He didn't want to lose it to like cut it off, motherfucker. It's taking so long. It's taking so long. So it's so good. I can't wait. I can't wait for next week.
Next Thursday. So at least like the schedule is pretty balanced because we have Book of Boba Fett on Wednesdays and then Peacemaker on
Yeah,
Thursdays. So at
on
least it's not that bad.
Thursdays.
Are we ready to do our rankings?
Yes.
Let's ratings for the first third. I mean, like the initial foray of Peacemaker. Jay, what's your 10
Let's
point ranking?
let's go reverse. You Jong. You jump in
Reverse.
first.
So this is a solid eight for me.
Hmm.
And this is like much like Book of Boba Fett. This is a very, very strong eight. This is not an eight because like there are a lot of mistakes. I mean, it's just like this is a very simple show that is comedy,
Hmm.
lots of action, slightly hyper violent, bit of comedic sex, a lot of like racy jokes that works. Most of it worked. I really, really enjoy it. So this is like a strong eight for me, and I can't wait for Thursday.
Okay, I'll go next.
Hmm.
I gotta go for a 9 for that. Maybe even a 9.5. It was just I couldn't stop watching. I just it was just so fun. Everything, even dialogue, which was more, was the highlight for me. Jay.
For me, it's a solid 9. There are some. There were no expectations as I entered watching the show. I knew it was gonna be funny, but I didn't know it was this
You
hilarious.
did
But there are some
Suicide
points.
Squad, though.
I did.
Okay.
And I like his character. I just didn't think that he'd carry it all on his own, but he did. He did
I
very
love John
well.
Yeah, he's carrying this show. Like it's mostly him. I thought that there'd be a little bit more Harcourt or a little bit more somebody else. It's all him. It's great.
Him and his dildo microphone singing talent while in the brief.
The best.
Oh, not dildo, but vibrator.
I even like how when he talked about how big his penis was, it wasn't bragging. It was like
Mhm.
it was even
I just wanted to slip it in.
It
the
was
conversation.
shown.
no. With Adebayo, when he was saying how big his dick was, he wasn't bragging. It was a what's the term where you make fun of yourself or like
Self-deprecating.
self-deprecating because
Yeah.
it hurts other people when I put it in. It's not because I'm bragging. It's like it's too big. So, that was-
No, and the camera focused on him actually. Well, he was in his tidy whities on the bed. It was showing that it was angled to the left. So
All right. So we'll continue our discussion about John Cena's left-angled dick next week on episode 4 of Peacemaker. So again, just to let people that if you have not seen Peacemaker, the first 3 episodes came out in the first day. So all of the first 3 episodes came out on the first week, and I think that's the best way. This is my favorite. Like I'm debating whether binge or week on week. I like let's do a chunk.
I
And
say
then-
2. I say
Yeah.
2 is the best.
2 or 3 is fine with me.
Like Hawkeye. Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye spacing is the best. 2
Yeah.
first
I like-
episodes.
because
and
again,
then-
you don't. I mean, I think I would have been a little bit upset if I had to wait week on a lot of detail. So I like the idea that this is, this was like first 3 episodes, then single. I mean, I did like remembering like Invincible was 2 episodes, like 3 episodes for the first, and then 2 episodes per week. I think I enjoyed that the most. But that's like I just want a little bit more content per week so that it'll type me over. But next week, episode 4. Are you ready for our main topic? Our main topic this year is, or this week is Eternals. It came out for Disney Plus. Just a little bit of stats before I turn it over to Jay for a little bit of the synopsis. Again,
Sure.
it was initially released November 5 in the theaters, but because a lot of people are not able to go to the theaters, Disney Plus has this thing where they release the movies like a relatively short time after, right? A couple of
I don't
3
mind
months,
it.
right?
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
So-
I think it's
that was
perfect.
okay. Yeah.
I
I
think
would
it's
rather
perfect.
2 months than 3, but yeah.
Yeah, but I was thinking also like this really severely undercuts a lot of the movie industry unless it's not subsidized by like a Disney Plus or a Netflix. But regardless, like it was made with a budget of $200 million. It made a 401.8
1.9
Yeah.
million.
well, like 401 million dollars. So the rule of thumb is it needs to make 3 times the production budget to consider it a success. So this one technically is not
Not yet.
not yet, but that's it. Directed by Chloe Zhao. She's an Oscar winner. She directed Nomadland.
Nomadland.
Right, that was good. Music by Ramin Djawadi. If you're not familiar who Ramin Djawadi is, he did a lot of music for Game of Thrones. Right, so
Okay.
that's why it kind of sounds a little bit more ethereal and familiar. And it stars a shit ton of cool actors and actresses: Kit Harington, Angelina Jolie, Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, Bill Skarsgård as the deviant, Selma Hayek, and much more. Camille, Barry Keoghan, Don Lee. Actually, I saw Train to Busan again. I forgot that he was there. So a lot of really, really cool people in this show. Right. That's the general stats. RJ, turning it over to you.
So let's do it like
All
kind
right.
of let's do it like kind of funny. Let's do our initial
Mm.
reactions first, and
Mm.
then let's do the recap. And then as Jay goes through the recap,
We'll stop.
be more specific, Jay, so that we can stop you at most points, and then we can discuss each point as we as you go along. So that's like
Sure,
how.
sure.
So
So
yeah,
Okay.
so
first,
more thorough on the
first, yeah.
be more thorough on the recap so that we can discuss each segment as we want. So that
Initial
Sure.
we don't
Let's
thoughts.
go
do that.
backtrack na. Initial thoughts.
What
Mhm.
Let's start with Jong, since you saw it first.
so again, I saw this twice in the theaters, right? Because like I have a movie theater here, so it was a while since I've seen this, but I rewatched it this week with you guys. But I saw this twice. I actually really really enjoyed it. I just enjoyed that. It's not without its flaws. That's the problem with you know um, origin stories in the MCU. It's never the strongest one in the docket. So it sets up maybe a little bit too many things. But in general, I love the dual timelines is a very female director thing to do because they want you to go to an emotional journey, not a chronological journey. Right? It's not
Yeah.
start, middle, finish. Like for great directors like Chloe Zhao, you can see little stories in pockets. So I really love that. I love the set of the cast of characters. I never thought that was gonna work. Like it's yeah, sometimes diversity for diversity's sake is weird, but in this particular case, I love it. It's
They
10
look
people
like
that
they
are
belong
highly
together.
they look like actual representatives of people from different
No, but I
universes.
mean they also had chemistry together.
Exactly.
Not
Yeah.
like they just fucking threw things in.
Yes.
But that's the other thing too is when I was watching the trailers and then thinking about these are 10 major characters in a particular movie, this is going to be tough to integrate time like a screen time for all of them. But I did not anticipate that they'll be broken up into groups. Like I didn't anticipate that they weren't together. Like like
Which I think was the
Makari was
smarter play
a
also.
smart
Which was a
move.
good, yeah, it's a smart move.
Smart move. Like and then it moved the story forward. So I like the characters. I like the story. The effects have always been stellar when it comes to the MCU, and they did have budget here. I love how
Yes.
simply they encapsulated what could have been a very confusing aspect of this particular group of people, like celestials, deviants, and what they do in particular worlds, the seeds. So yeah,
Mm.
if I did not watch Guardians of the Galaxy, if I don't have any idea of what Neil Gaiman wrote and
Celestials.
Steve Kirby, right? The first 2 minutes where they had the scroll, it worked for me. Like, all right, this is what this is they brought here. This is what you do. There's a twist in the end. In the end, it kind of is simplistic and it's again most about the characters. And I do like the idea that it opens up the MCU to something extremely large where it can live by itself. Like Eternals versus the Celestials kind of thing can live elsewhere,
Mhm.
right? That can be a storyline in itself. They can have an adventure on their own. So I like that idea. I just worry about how it kind of fits into the MCU because like we're so fractured now with the MCU. We have like street level criminals, we have multiversal criminals, we have Avengers type criminal. So I don't know how it's gonna pan out. It hasn't reviewed well, but I'm thinking that this is one of those movies that 5-10 years down the line we're gonna look back. It's like they set that universe or arc pretty nicely with these people. So I really, really enjoy it. I'll save some of my other comments during the plot points, particularly on the roles of the Celestials, because I actually really, really like how they did this, and it's super duper simple. So I truly enjoyed watching this. But My main flaw for this, it's too long.
Two hours and 30 minutes.
It's a little too long. It needed. I don't know how. This is one of those things that I won't be able to provide a solution, but it felt 2.5 hours. It wasn't like Spider-Man Far From Home, which is also around the same time, like 220, breezed by. This one felt like, oh shit, I'm sitting for a while. Or when I recently saw it, I took a break. I took like a 15-minute nap because like, oh, this is long. So I don't know how it could have been more tight, but that's my initial thoughts for Eternals. CHUBAX, what do you think?
I don't know. I just saw it today, so maybe I'll need a second viewing. But and going through this, it's unlike most of the big MC movies where I see it day one because of the
Mhm.
COVID. So I've heard of the reviews and how it's not reviewing well. But and I've been trying to not like it, but the few hours since I've seen it, it's just growing and growing on me. It's like
Mm.
I think
Mm.
it's close to masterpiece. It's just so good for me right now. So we'll see how it goes. But
Mm.
I liked it. I like how they broke it up to chunks, like in the
Mhm.
groups. They didn't force anybody to have enough time. Like if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So they didn't push anything. I like that they focused a little more on Cersei and Icarus, and can say anything about how it looks, how the effects, the cinematography, everything's shot well. Makari was so good. Her power, how her powers were,
Mhm.
and like in the action, not all of them were meant to fight. So they didn't force everybody to fight like the some of the deviant action scenes spread throughout. Like
Mhm.
not everybody
Yes.
was fighting. Like uh
Salma
Sprite
Hayek.
Sprite and Cersei barely fought. It's not
Mhm.
really their thing. So that was Salma Hayek that wasn't even in an action sequence. I think if you think about it. So
Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
she's a
She's the
healer
healer. Yeah. So
and
Yeah,
she's
the only
supporting.
action
yeah.
that she had was like she got stabbed by her own teammate.
I know. So I like that. Like he didn't
Yeah.
force anything. Like if this is your role, this is your role. You're not gonna be in this role, then you're gonna be put in to do something else. And then
Yeah.
and I don't know the main topic of the celestial being birthed at the cost of the earth at first seems very very silly. But if you really think about it, if you look at the big picture and think about
Mhm.
it does make sense.
That's what I love. I
So it's
mean,
like
and you had Kingo as our surrogate. Like, yeah, it makes sense.
yeah, and he
No,
didn't. And I like, dude. I'm skipping ahead, but I like that he wasn't even in the last fight
no.
because it didn't make sense for him to be because
He says
he.
like, no. It's like I will follow you, but I'm not gonna fight.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
mean,
it's so simple and straightforward. I love it.
he's like, I love you guys. I also love him. I don't want
Mm.
to fight any of
Yes.
you, and he kind of makes sense as well. So if you want to do this, you're gonna do
Yes.
it without me. So bye bye. They did. I was like, he's gonna pop up sometime. It's like out of the blue somewhere. He did not. It's just in the end. So okay, but yeah, that's my initial thoughts. I love it. So Jay, how about you?
I think that the reason for the movie to be very long was because there were a lot of Eternals that you had to kind of understand what their backstory is. Because here are superheroes that the world isn't really familiar with. It's not like people knew already the Eternals unless you really follow the comics. So to have a movie for everyone to enjoy, you had to have a little bit of a history, and honestly half of this movie is really history, um which I appreciated because I got to learn more about each of the Eternals, each of their powers. I like the diversity. That's something that I enjoyed a lot in this movie. I like the diversity. So you have a homosexual or LGBTQ black man. You have
Married to a Muslim guy with a
married to a
Mexican kid.
Muslim guy.
Or
with a
Latin
Mexican.
kid.
Exactly.
It's great.
So imagine
Fun.
how diverse that family is, but it was a fantastic family. It looked really lovely. Next, one of the Eternals couldn't speak, so she had to use sign language. You have,
He's really deaf too.
and she's really deaf as well, right? Exactly. Well, even the actors themselves, Salma Hayek, who was Hispanic, you have an
Korean,
African American,
probably.
you have an Indian, you have a Korean. So I like how a lot was represented in the Eternals. And I don't know if this is legal. They also referenced a lot to DC. Oh,
Superman.
so he's like,
How
No,
did that?
no,
I mean,
not
I
just
was
that.
very concerned.
he was, so he's like your Alfred for Batman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember? For
Oh, I love that guy too. Yeah.
I love
Kunal-
that guy. The guy with Kingo.
Kumail.
Karun.
Kumail?
What? Karun Patel.
That's the valet.
Karun.
But, it's
That's the
Kumail
valet.
Jelani's valet.
Okay. So I like how it played out. How diverse it is. And yes, they also mentioned Superman. Oh, you're Superman, with
Karun.
beams coming out of your eyes, you can fly. And a cape. No, I don't use a cape.
No, he's a kid.
It's awesome. It's awesome. How I at first I thought, wait, isn't this a Marvel film? Why are they referencing DC a lot? I don't know. Maybe that's something to look forward to in the future. I don't know, but definitely they should have gotten a permission from DC from that. Yeah, I like it.
I like the idea that.
Enjoyed it.
So is it in the MCU? DC
It's a comic
Comics
book.
is real. That's dope. That is dope.
I mean, there has to be
Awesome,
something.
right? Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't mention it for nothing, so I'm pretty sure there's something coming. I don't know. Are we doing ratings right now, or are we gonna
No,
go?
We
through
can
the-
go with your plot.
We can go with the plot now.
All right. So imagine the start of the movie. This happens 5000 BC. I like that in the beginning. There's like there's scroll up,
Scroll. Yeah. I love
Star
scroll.
Wars. Star
it wasn't that long
scrolling,
either.
no.
It was like two
there's
slides.
Also, yeah, two slides. And there's also something about Star Wars that was mentioned. But anyway, when they were in the house of the black guy, what's his name?
Fastos.
Fastos. So they had a Star Wars book that they were rummaging through. Anyway, so starts 5000 BC, early mankind, 10 Eternals come in, suddenly fighting these seemingly alien creatures called the Deviants. Okay, so they eventually introduce themselves to that tribe, even Cersei transforming one of the tooth daggers into something awesome, like a gold and blue hilted knife, which was eventually on display in the
museum.
in the
She was
museum.
looking
So
at
there
it.
was like from the past flash forward to the present. I like that. So they're basically Eternals are those that were sent from their home planet called Olympia, like Olympus, Olympus, I suppose. That's why you have people like
I love that
Icarus.
allegory too. Like, Athena,
Athena, yeah.
Icarus, it's like the idea of these characters were, because they've been on Earth for like 7,000 years, whatever, they are kind of based out of gods and legends. So it's like, oh, okay,
And
cool,
Sprite.
I get it.
And Sprite stories.
And Sprite.
Sprite
It's like
stories.
a fairy. Yeah. The stories. She's awesome. Actually, she's awesome. And I understand her pain. So they were sent from there on the Domo by the Prime Celestial Arishem, the judge. So throughout, their tasks were to relocate or look for civilizations, growing civilizations, and defend them from these alien deviants. So eventually, there was a bit of a romance between Cersei and Icarus going on there, eventually leading them to be a married couple. Okay. Next, so they're still together, that part.
First
Next
MCU
part-
sex scene.
Yeah, that is true.
Actually,
first time I
that
had to
was a
forward.
surprise
Kat was like,
because the kids were watching.
I know, like what the. And then Lucas was
What were
like,
they doing on the beach?
why did you forward? I wanted to see the kissing so I can vomit.
Oh, vomit. Oh,
No, man.
just wait a few years,
Like,
little boy.
Oh man, but yeah, that is a surprise for the MCU, for an MCU movie. Anyway, so a little bit forward, it was, I think, Spanish Inquisition. Seems like, so you've got the Spaniards coming in, taking over this Aztec capital. The war happens, and a lot of discussions for like, we got to help them, we got to stop this. This is madness. It's not madness, it's genocide, according to what's the name of the guy who can control Druid, the one who can control minds. This is genocide. So they really wanted to um, do something, but in the midst of this all, Thena kind of starts breaking her mind and starts stabbing everyone. Literally, almost everyone got stabbed by Thena until she was knocked unconscious by Gilgamesh. Okay, now
Man, weary.
this kind of start. Yeah, this one kind of started their breakup, if you think about this, because they wanted to heal Thena at the cost of wiping her memory clean. In a way, they're saying like she's breaking because there's too much memory stored that it's not capable of functioning properly. So some discussions there, some arguments. Even Druid, who basically just stopped the war altogether by controlling everyone's mind, says, if you want to stop me, kill me. Because he just can't. You're asked to take care of these civilizations, in a way, help them grow, and they're self-destroying themselves. So,
but I like
in a way,
the dichotomy with Druid. Like, he's stopping the war, but he's erasing their free will. So it's like,
Yeah.
yes,
that's
true.
So it's always that kind of thing. At this point, he's like still being set up as like the, when you
Like
push too hard to make a dude look bad, it's like, oh, this is not gonna be the bad guy.
but
I
I
thought
just-
at first as well.
I liked how he was like doing that, and everybody's like, not kind of not right, but yeah.
But as per Salma Hayek, who happens to be the
The
what do you
leader.
call this? The leader, the prime eternal, right? At that time, we are not to really engage or affect the growth of this civilization. We're just supposed to help them, but not really control. If they're gonna set up to destroy themselves, then so be it.
Yep.
That's just how it is, right? Which makes sense because they are kind of like gods, if you think of it, in that
No, and-
sense that they are.
And I think
powerful.
Fastos kind of cleared that up. Wars advance humanity also because it improves life
Yes.
support and technology.
Mm.
So if they kept interfering, it would have kind of stunted.
Stunted the growth. Yeah.
It's weird because like you want technology to harvest more humans, but at the same time, like those technology can also harm a lot more humans. So it's like a delicate balance of what they're
Which
being provided.
he learns later also.
True. It really is a double-edged sword. So you want to advance the people, but with too much advancement, if it's too fast, then it's also detrimental. So because of that, they started to break up. Salma Hayek says, "You know what? We're
Go.
done. We've done what we're supposed to do. Go. Live your lives."
And I think it was smart.
And
Instead of
I like that.
instead of us staying together and we're just end up fighting each other. Go, experience life, live. And I think she was also thinking ahead.
I like what you said. I like what you said. Go, find your purpose, and when we see each other again, I want to know what that is.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I like that line. That was pretty awesome. So then, going forward to the present day, you have Cersei being late for her class, and you have Kit Harington, handsome,
Charming
damn it,
bastard as
handsome.
ever.
I know.
Having
So-
a poetry reading.
And so funny, her name is Cersei, and then the partner apparently is Jon Snow. But anyway, so with the person who does the score for Game of Thrones.
Game of
No,
Thrones. Yeah.
maybe not. So so forward, they're in London, goes into class. He basically tries to teach him poetry. Then she starts teaching about apex predators, and then an earthquake happens. Don't know why, but perhaps it's somewhat related to deviants, but it's not really explicitly said. There was a deviant that was shown under a pier. I suppose that was under London Bridge, not harming the dog, which is something I'm happy about. Then they go for dinner, a little dancing, birthday of Kit
Birthday of
Harington,
Dane Whitman.
birthday of Dane, Mr. Whitman, little kissing there. Good birthday gift, which probably cost an arm and a leg, but she's an eternal. Then they walk, Sprite being a killjoy, wanting to go home because it's past her bedtime. What a dope.
So I mean, this is one of those spots where I realized like it is kind of a curse looking like a kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes.
She was trying to make moves with the dude, and the dude wanted to make moves back, but nope, you can't. Everything is an illusion.
Exactly.
Sucks.
Well, there are sick people that will do that, but maybe that's not what she's.
I was gonna say, like the people that would be totally good with a kid. It's like, oh, I want to be with one of those people.
Well, yeah, but I mean, for her, it sucks because being with humans for thousands of years, she saw people grow up, grow old, and die, have a life purpose, have families, fall in love, and she's a kid, and no one will take her seriously because she will always be a kid.
And it was also explained, like people kind of freak out when a person never grows old.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kingo apparently had a good solution to that, but we'll go to that in a moment. So that's where they start walking home. They see this deviant coming out. Surprisingly, Dane Whitman wasn't so surprised when his girlfriend was somewhat changing the concrete floor into mud and then solidifying.
I actually like that
because
it showed in the scene before where he was already getting hints.
Well, the idea was Sprite was telling him about all those things, not thinking that he'd take it seriously. Yeah. And then now seeing everything in context, like, oh, okay, it's correct.
No, and
is that a deviant?
I'm sure he's noticed some things as well. That kind of
he did mention during the birthday, like
put it in doubt.
Water turns to coffee.
Yeah, so he's already thinking about it. So when he sees it, it's not that big.
And there is also a big hint towards the end of the movie, which we'll get to later on about Whitman. So looking forward to something there, to that hint to have some meaning behind it. So they start fighting this deviant. Icarus suddenly comes in, swoops in, yet still fails to kill this beast that has those tentacles. They were able to damage it only to find out that it can actually heal itself, somewhat similar to the power of Salma Hayek. So, Ajax pala yung character niya doon. So they wanted to know more about it. So who do you go to? You go to your mother. You go to mommy, right? So everyone tries to look for Ajax. So they go fly out to whichever part of the world she's in, only to find her dead on the floor. And it seems that she was attacked by a deviant. Seeing the gashes on her body showed somewhat similar to a deviant's attack. So they all start mourning about losing Ajax because she was and has been their leader for thousands of years.
Mommy.
And their mommy, generally, the one who looks after all of them. Mm-hmm. And she was the one that who basically was the mouthpiece of Arishem, the one who gives them directives. So with her gone, there's a lot of like, what are we going to do now? However, Ajax passes that sphere, that ability to communicate back to the judge, to Arisham, the judge, to Cersei. So now they're tasked
Cersei
to
becomes the
kind of
default leader.
leader. Exactly. So they kind of have to, we got to get everyone. So the first person that they were able to visit was one of my favorite Eternals, Kingo. So by the time they shot, I was like, what's this? Another play that they're shooting? It's a Bollywood film. He's doing a freaking Bollywood film. And if you look at his costume and later reveals it, damn, he's doing a film about them.
But and I love the valet. I love the he even thought I was a vampire. And stabbed me to the chest.
Yeah. I did twice. He was so freaking honest.
I apologize so many times about that. Not enough, but I'll let you know.
And this is also something that I liked about this movie, where they didn't push too much about like humans' reaction to them. Just him and then maybe Dane, but it's not always typical, especially like big catastrophic events. They always cut to the scenes of the humans fleeing or crying or like what the fuck's going on. Here it's just it's less intimate in the sense of the humans' reaction, but it's more intimate because it's just them as the family. And I love that the guy that we have, the only like basically the only human reaction that we can see is his valet, but his valet already knows about them, so he's not like overwhelmed and always in like what the fuck's happening.
Dude, he's
appreciating
filming
everything.
them.
Always have a backup camera.
Filming.
He's worked with them for 50 years.
He has a backup camera. How many cameras does he have?
He was filming. They're doing a freaking documentary throughout the trip as they try to locate Gilgamesh and Thena in Australia. So they kind of settled down in Australia. So his valet was nonstop recording. So he had a big one. It became a smaller one until it became a handheld one.
Always get a backup.
Sprite was saying, no, that's why Sprite was saying, how many cameras do you have? Oh, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I guess he knew what he was getting into. He's the most prepared one. I'm happy they didn't harm this guy or kill him off. Super like him. I super like him. So the team with Kingo, he stops his filming, which is a trilogy. He was so concerned because there are a lot of people that he hired for the job, and he even got BTS to do cameo.
That's big shit, man. That can be a
I know.
Push through with that.
Exactly. But sir, if I can say something, don't say anything, sir. I told you not to say anything. Love
your
that
favorite quote, Shadow Warrior 2.
Exactly. I mean, he so loves him and respects him wholeheartedly, as I would follow him to death and back. So anyway, so you have Gilgamesh and Thena together because Thena from that Spanish Inquisition battle, she started having this sickness. It's called
Mad Weary.
Mad Weary. So that's when your hard drive is kind of filling up. So they went into this remote area, and Gilgamesh was seen still with Kingo having a documentary. So Gilgamesh comes and welcomes them to pie, but then here's the bad news of Ajax being dead. So I knew he was gonna drop the pie, but I thought he was gonna drop it instantly. No, I like how they did it. He still kept his cool until he couldn't, put his arm down and just slid off, and used his hand and destroy the cast iron pan. I mean, it's really freaking strong.
Crying.
While he was crying. Awesome.
In a cute
and
apron.
Of course, in a cute apron. Yeah, he's like big badass guy, super strong, yet still human
Taking
enough
care
to
of
feel
Tina.
that emotion. Yeah, which I think he really had feelings for as well. In a way, you're eternal. Might as well be with a fellow eternal since
Yeah.
you'll lose whoever you were with anyway. So they talk, they discuss what's happening. There were some visions that um,
Cersei.
Cersei had, and then started sharing that with the rest of the team, giving them more of like a purpose. I like how Icarus was really nahiritan siya ni Gilgamesh that he wasn't chosen as the leader.
Oh, you can't. How would you?
I was-
How would you lead the Avengers? You weren't even chosen to lead our teams. Like, ooh.
And what sucks more is he knows why. So it's more.
Oh.
It's like he's hiding the deep
but at
cut.
this at this point we didn't know that.
No, we
So
didn't
we
know,
were
but
like,
he
"Ooh."
knew.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that really sucked a lot. Thena's artwork as well as being reviewed by Cersei revealed the faces of the celestial that was being
Emergence.
the emergence exactly, and the face of the celestial. So things were revealed to her, and it seemed like their purpose was to protect the earth so that the humans would
Flourish.
continuously flourish
Yeah.
while defending them from deviants, which was also a mistake brought about by these
The
celestials.
celestial.
And they were like supposed to correct them. So the Eternals were meant to correct.
I like
these deviants.
the fact here that it kind of clarifies the idea that the Celestials and the Deviants were built for the same purpose. Unfortunately, the Deviants weren't. They weren't.
They were like the mistake.
They weren't the
evolved.
mistake. They were
They evolved.
they're version one that didn't have that limiter.
Fail safe. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right, they weren't like set, like because they didn't have a limiter, they could evolve, and that the deviants evolving by themselves meant that it was a little bit more troublesome for them to be controlled by the celestial. So that's I like the idea that sometimes improvement is actually detrimental, but also the idea of it's super clear that protecting humans or protecting people of a particular planet, it's not because of for altruistic purposes. You're going to feed a fucking celestial when it grows, so you need that
Exactly.
starter. So that was simple and clear and understandable why you wouldn't see them in small skirmishes, like, why did you help with the Thanos or the Avengers? Because like we have a bit much multi-galactical problem than just like one or two dudes. So I really
Correct.
appreciate that.
And still realizing that you've been taking care of humans just so that you could eventually feed it once you
Feed them.
reach that
Mhm.
quota for this upcoming celestial called Tiamat the Communicator.
Tiamat.
So that was kind of that was when the emergence would happen, and they realized their purpose. Like after every emergence, they get reset and memories wiped. And what happened to their memories? It's stored in the bank so that the Celestials can review what the deviants.
That
were
was
like
smart
as
too.
they
Like
were.
you could, so the Celestials are kind of like managers reviewing performance reviews of what they can tweak with their employees. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. So they felt like, damn, we've been doing this for thousands of years, and we're just tools. We weren't real. We're not real. We're just what we're genetically. Or we were manufactured. I think that was the term used. So kind of pisses them off. So they wanted to do something to delay the emergence, protect the people, but they needed to find more people. So the next person they went to visit was, at this point, the person you suspect to be the bad guy. They went to find Druig. So
I don't
they
know
find
why,
Druig
but
somewhere.
Druig just so cool to me. Like his aura,
He
his
is.
presence, and
So, I mean,
at
the
end,
good
he
thing
has the
about-
leather jacket too.
I love the thing
just-
that about the casting about this too, like the makeup of the cast. Like even the white people are diverse,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? Every like Dane and Cersei and Sprite and Druig had different accents.
They all did. Even
I think-
Icarus had a
what's
different
Druid?
accent.
Even Icarus too. I think it's I'm assuming Irish or Scottish because it's very thick,
So correct.
I
right?
think
That's
yeah,
right.
he's
And then-
Irish. Icarus is Scottish. Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Something, yes.
assuming
He had a very thick.
Sprite is American,
Mhm.
and then Cersei is English.
Yes, she is.
Chinese.
So
yeah.
so I love
Chinese
the
descent. Yeah.
yeah, but the idea is like, all right, even even the seemingly simple white people are also diverse of that. And now, and when I first heard Druid, like, man, like he seems like he's has something in his mouth when he's talking. But yeah, I agree. Like
This is
super
accent.
cool. I dig it.
And the way he's walking, he's just like so very composed and shit. I like it. I want to put
He had this confidence that he exuded,
yeah.
which is actually pretty good for a young actor. I guess he looked young. So they wanted to look for Dewey because he had this power to control mind. So thinking that if they had him, they could somewhat delay the emergence by using his
Putting Tiamat
telepathy
to sleep. Yeah.
to sleep longer or permanently, hopefully, right? But after hearing the news of the death and the real purpose of their being, he gets more pissed off. They all go out. Nothing was resolved. Then you got an ambush of these deviants. Not just one, but there were, I think, 4 or 5 deviants, which were actually quite strong enough at this point to actually handle the current Eternals on scene. Plus the fact that there were people that they had to protect. Because not all Eternals are also fighters. So the ones that were really fighting here was
Icarus,
Kingo, Icarus.
Gilgamesh.
Oh
And
yes,
unfortunately,
Gilgamesh as
Athena.
well. Athena was unfortunately still
Mad
going
weary.
haywire. That still attacked Icarus for a time being, right? Anyway,
also,
which
I
sad-
love the Kingo action sequence with all the mind control guys with the shotgun.
yeah.
That was cool. Like boom, boom. That was so cool.
And then
I love
splurts
that.
all over him. Ah!
And dude, I have to say the effects are really good. It's not
Really good. I like that. I mean, it's very
Yes.
subtle
it's not
and has
popping
a
out
very
anymore.
unique signature.
It's not like other
Mhm.
superhero movies where that looks off. This one looks smooth, look cool. I guess yeah, you're right. It's more they did it subtly, so it looked really smooth. I love it.
What sucked was I really liked the Gilgamesh character to last longer, but in this battle,
I know.
as he goes back to face Athena, I really like Gilgamesh. Sad. But as he tried to attend to Athena, the deviant took this opportunity to capture him and steal his super strength powers, and at the same time killing him. So that
Lucas
really
hates the
kinda
movie
sucks.
because he died.
Yeah,
They don't-
Gilgamesh?
I
they don't-
really like.
Well,
yeah.
he hates it when the heroes die. So Gilgamesh dying, Salma Hayek dying. But I think he did like he extra liked Gilgamesh.
Because
He's cool.
He
I
was
like
awesome. He's cool.
It's very chill. Very just like
He's not like an ultra muscular guy. He's big, bulky, but
No, they
strength,
did
know.
a contrast. He's like the super strong, powerful guy, but his personality was the taking care, the motherly, like taking care of Tina, cooking, so it was a good
Sprite even dressed him up as a baby.
Yeah, that's true.
And he didn't get angry.
Yeah, he
wasn't that hot-headed
He was a
guy.
very gentle giant.
Yeah. He was just like, oh, I'm a baby. Come on.
any one of you guys want to taste Gilgamesh's special wine?
The
Special
saliva.
meat.
with his the corn was personally chewed and spit.
Well, if I knew he was an eternal, yes, because technically he's not he's a machine, so okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's synthetic.
it's fine.
Don't worry, I'll send you my special meat.
Not you. You're not an eternal. Bro.
I know. But then after absorbing Gilgamesh's what do you call that? Essence, the enemy crow suddenly regains or gains a humanoid figure, starts to talk, and has more memories of what's happening, making him even more deadly and powerful. So he did say that he's going to kill them all or probably absorb them all. The thing about them is that he can actually share what he gains. So everyone basically levels up. So it's like if the enemy levels up, everyone really levels up in that area with him. So
All the other deviants.
correct. The last touching words that Gilgamesh said to Tina was, remember who you are. So she's like starts crying. Yes, she should be, because the cool guy died because of you being mad weary. Anyway, so now they had to look for Fastos. I don't know can't remember what state that is, but they see Fastos married with a child. Very happy looking family. It seemed warm when you see them.
I love how they twisted that. Like, he's the one that lost humanity in faith because of what happened with the bombs and the stuff. And then the only way to get back that faith back is with the family. It's so cool. Like the little touches there.
Like how he said that, these hands, I just want to work on my son's bike. That's all it is. That's what's important. It
kind of makes sense. He didn't want to go because his family's gonna die if he doesn't go. Like, like you want to stay here with your family, but if we can do it without you, then everything's gonna die.
Correct. But
fun sequence too with the actual house.
Yeah,
I mean, I know we've seen it in the trailers about IKEA fall collection,
but I didn't
like
expect the laser.
That I-beam was fun. That was the one that I was like, oh, okay. That's where my faith was restored in terms of trailers. That although they say or give a lot in trailers, most of the time there's still a little bit more that will surprise you. That's what my favorite part, when Dane shot the glass and Icarus I-beamed the window and it was like protected, force field protected. Cool.
Oh, so you're not using your powers anymore. And then he tried the table. Anyway, so after the husband convinces Fastos to go, you have to do this. They head off to look for Makari. So she was residing in the ship. So what they did was mind controlling all the archaeologists around the area so that they don't
leave.
Kind of tell them to leave, because they're gonna raise the ship up, and they go inside. Still, while doing a documentary, eventually Fasta steps on a bag of chips, screams like a little girl, and says, and this Kingo says, like, being an eternal doesn't mean that we're still able to feel what humans feel, including cowardice.
I hope they release a rough cut of that of the video that he's making.
I know. I hope so. That would be awesome, though. So now they're all gathered together. They see Makari. They have this proposed idea of having
Unimind.
A Unimind, which is really horrible. But since Fastus thought about it, he has the right to give the name. So hence Unimind, and they want to take control of the Celestials to control or stop the emergence from happening. So everyone's pretty much on board with the plan. Now this is where you get a little bit of a flashback of Icarus as well, and Ajax talking about the situation. You get to see how Icarus felt betrayed in a sense, because all his purpose was meant to serve the Celestials, and now it seems like Ajax was also starting to do something to go against it. So he betrays her, pushes her off a cliff, feeding her straight off to these
Deviant.
Divert
The deviants that were released because of the earthquake.
Correct. So these deviants, for some reason, she was able to find the shotgun, tried to defend herself, but ultimately died. And having her powers absorbed, and it was shared to the rest of the other deviants as well. And when they were gone, Ghost swoops down, takes her body, sends her down to her farm, and he seemed sad, but I guess it's really he felt angry.
Yeah,
and
it was just
betrayed
following
that-
orders. That's the thing. So
which he has been following for thousands of years. He knew the truth,
It's not easy
kept
to
it from
break it.
everyone. Yeah,
And I love that.
right.
That's
and
the.
then not,
I thought there was like some sinister reason why he left. Why he left Cersei.
Cersei.
It's because he couldn't kept lying to her.
yeah,
That would-
he was always like, I was gonna tell her, and if I told her, she was not going to enjoy the rest of her life.
Yeah, and that would have.
Correct.
I mean, imagine lying to the one you love for like a couple of thousands of years. Like fuck. So good.
So that's where Icarus gets revealed. Druig, being the smart, confident guy, was also able to deduce his part in being part of killing Ajax. So that's where somehow he felt more powerful than the rest of the Eternals. I don't know.
And that's also my question. Like, why is he?
I
special
thought
that
they
he
were
can
all
take
kind
them
of.
all? Yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it's because like maybe just combat wise, he has he flies and he shoots beams, so he's at an advantage against
But you've
most.
got the goddess of war, who was supposed to be
A fighter.
badass.
If he can get close to her,
Yeah.
or if she can get
She can
close
get
to him,
close
but
to him.
also on the same argument, that was the other thing too, because for a little bit there it was just one-on-one, Fastos and Icarus, and Fastos
Got the upper hand.
got the upper hand, was able to subdue him with his technology. So I
Yes.
mean, it kind of like
I
that's
guess it's
the
match
weakness
up.
of
You're
it.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, that makes it better.
I guess, yeah, the matchup is there. And maybe if Gilgamesh was still alive, he'd hand it to him.
And
Probably.
I don't think we've said it, but Gemma Chan is so beautiful.
Oh, so before
Yes.
because this is the perfect spot, because this is where Angelina Jolie, Cena was fighting against the Crow, like the main deviant prime.
Yes.
We needed like 200% more Angelina Jolie in this movie. Like
Yes, we
she
did.
was in but I think that's the reason why she joined it, because like he's like, oh, I'm gonna pop in and out. I have very very little scenes. I'm just gonna fight and that's it. But yeah, so I knew Gemma Chan was always gorgeous from uh Crazy Rich Asians to even to Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And to hear, I was very happy that she was kind of cast as a lead, but I forgot how fucking killer Angelina
Angelina.
Jolie is. So that's all.
She is awesome. How young is she now?
Maybe like 50 something.
Already? Damn.
Yeah.
She's still.
What,
Still
6
hot.
kids or something like that?
Yeah,
4
but
kids
a lot
with
of them
a couple
were.
adopted, like 2 or 3
Yeah.
adopted.
46.
Oh, 40. Oof.
Well,
Yeah.
according to our math, it still works, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Gemma Chan is 39.
Our age.
Perfect. Yes. Surprise, surprise.
Richard Madden is
Me.
35. Kumail is 43.
I like how Makari was able to also take control of her speed and really overpower Icarus.
Makari is 43.
Wow. Well, Black
She
don't
did
crack,
not
man.
look 43.
Mm.
She did not look 43.
Donley is 50.
Donley is
50. Gilgamesh.
50. Okay.
Gilgamesh.
Yeah. Oh, he looks young. Well,
Salma Hayek's
good
55.
Asian gene.
She also looks good.
She does. But I never saw Salma Hayek as an action girl anyway. So
But yeah, this fight scene, the main fight scene It's so good. I mean, we forgot to mention, but Kingo left because she didn't want to fight them. But the action sequence, especially
Yes,
the Makari's fight scenes with Icarus,
Mhm.
oh, so
that was
good.
pretty
I
good.
don't think
I
we've
like it because
seen.
like there's certain moments when she stop like she's the Flash, right? She's the
Yeah,
Yes.
speedster. And then you can see the speed, but there are moments where she just like jump and you can see like that's the thing about directing that I love watching more and more of these movies is you can really see what certain directors emphasize. Like if like Zack Snyder is hyper violent action, super cool, depth of field kind of shit. But the
Mhm.
thing that I see about female directors, like because they look at the world differently, like fights to them is not just brute force. It's angles, it's conversation. So it's not a
It's
full on,
finesse.
yeah, it's not a full on straight up fight. That there's like breaks within the fight where they talk, they assess, and then they break out.
Hmm.
So I really, I mean, again, Chloe Zhao is an Academy Award winning director. So she knows her
Shit.
shit. She knows how to get the message
and we
across.
and we've seen the Flash type hero so many times already, but we've seen some new stuff here that we haven't seen
Mhm.
before, like
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
scenes with Icarus spin down the wall and then she's going bang 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 bang
Have-
bang, and then there's like
Yeah.
Sonic boom. That was so good.
I like the
I
fact
agree
where
with
Icarus was in the middle and then she just came in from all sides. Bam, 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 bam.
That was so good. I love it.
yeah. Oh my
She had a
god,
good
it's great.
scene. And I like how it turned down where Fastus was able to put his technology to use in the sense that Icarus couldn't even have the power to throw his eye beams out.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I mean, the way the emergence was stopped was how Cersei was able to use her powers to kind of change the lay of the land. Instead of the celestial being born, she turned it into a giant glacier, maybe putting it to sleep or maybe killing it. I don't know
I
if
don't,
that's
in
Well,
the
if that's the
Wikipedia it
case.
says he turned it to marble, but I don't know how accurate that is.
Marble pala. Oh, baka
But
nga marble.
that's wiki. We don't know.
but yeah, that's the thing. Is like didn't Arasham the judge towards the end, and we're skipping, said that like you sacrificed the
Yeah,
eternal
so he's probably dead, right?
They're probably dead. Yeah. For these humans. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna take their memories and see if these humans really are worthy of being alive, or
which is
should
cool
we
too.
pass
Which is
That's
judgment?
nice
super
of
cool.
him, right? He didn't like,
It's like
fuck you, you killed the Eternals. I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill them. But no, okay, let's assess.
but the idea is
Come
like
with me. I'll read your memories and then let's see.
and that's the
But
thing that I love about that part is you can actually see that the scope we cannot comprehend, and that's what I like. Like, what's the use of demolishing this little tiny planet? I'm just wasting energy. So if it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. I have like 5 billion more other worlds that are about to create more worlds. So it's kind of great. I really enjoy
true,
that.
true. So who were the ones that were captured? It
The ones
was
that stayed,
Cersei.
Cersei, Kingo, and Sprite, I assume. I don't know if Sprite was.
Oh no,
Oh,
was
No,
Fastos.
Sprite
I
there?
think
Fastos. Three. I think there were three.
Fastos. Three, yeah.
So the
That
ones that
was on the
stayed,
ship. On the ship was
Cena.
Makari,
Sprite,
Druid, and then
Tina, Makari, Druid.
no, Sprite stayed.
Oh,
Kasi
no.
did
yung
she?
So
iba.
no,
Okay.
the only people that were captured was Cersei.
Ti-
Cersei.
no,
Three,
there
di
was
ba?
there was
Tina.
more. There,
No,
Fastos
Cena
and Kingo, the three of them were
were
taken.
Okay.
captured.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
There's a shot where he's talking to them, and there's three rings.
Okay,
And
because I just
Cersei.
know that Cena,
Druig and
Makari, and
Makari
Druig
are in the
are
ship.
are going after them or gonna find them.
Mm-mm. So yun. So Cersei, Fastos, and Kingo. Of course, I checked online. So their memories are going to be
Checked.
evaluated. So for final judgment of the humans. So it ends there. But just circling back to what I said earlier. What's the name?
Oh, and
Kit
we
Harington.
skipped one with the Sprite. I was like, at first it was. It was also. I mean, it made sense where she stabbed Cersei because she was in love with Icarus, but
She was
still
jealous.
it still seemed a little like a stretch. But then when you go deeper, it's not
Yeah.
just because he loved Icarus, it's because everything.
It's everything.
She
Yeah.
was
Everything.
It's
stuck as a
thousands of
kid.
years of
Yeah.
again. That's the thing of those. Any interaction with them could have been justified by they've known each other for thousands of years. Like whether they
Correct.
helped him out or
Yeah.
not helped him out, they have much more information together than we could ever say. So like because that's what my initial reaction to. It's like, oh, that's a turn that you were living with Cersei because you were both lonely, and then you just stab her a few weeks later. But again,
Thousands.
And thousands of years, man. And she's always in the shadow, you know. She was in love with Icarus as well, but that's not just the main reason. It's everything. Cersei was loved by the people. They saw her. People just naturally flocked to her. Whereas for Sprite, she was still seen as a kid, no matter how old she is. Remember when she was scolding the valet of Kingo? Hey, young man. She calls him young man.
I love that. I love that part.
It's like, and then I thought about it for like a second. I was like, oh yeah, because she lived thousands of years. You know,
He's like a speck.
yeah. To the life that she's lived, and for
And
her,
then their specs,
you know, you listen to me.
Their specs to Arisham,
They are.
right?
They're just.
If you
they-
think about it.
exactly.
So just a question.
There's something
Zong,
about-
as someone who
Hmm.
saw, do they reference Tiamut in No Way Home? I mean, if it's a big
Did they?
spoiler, did they?
I don't think so.
No, they didn't know. That's a pretty big glacier. to
That's
be
kind
seen
of out in
island.
the Indian Ocean. Ayun. So before Cersei though was taken by Arim, oh, shucks, I keep
Arisham.
forgetting the name.
Arisham.
Arisham. So before she was taken by Arisham, Dane Whitman was supposed to say something. Oh, I just realized, you know, after checking my family history, we're not so typical after all. We're not so normal after all. So
Love it.
I'm hoping that he may not be an eternal, but maybe he has some powers that
Oh,
teach us
he-
more.
Well,
It's been
he
confirmed.
is already a character
He's
in
a Black
the
Knight.
MCU.
The Black
He's
Knight.
the Black Knight. And in the post-credit scene, we can discuss once we get there, but there's two post-credit scenes. So
Oh, was
One
there
was-
shit? I stopped it after one.
yeah.
Oh, you
And
did,
the first
yeah.
yeah.
The
The first
mid-credits-
post-credit scene, the mid-credit scene, when I was in the theater, I was like, holy fuck, that is dope.
It's Pip.
I did not realize that. Not only Pip, but
Arrow.
perfectly casted Eros. Who can embody sensuality more than Harry Styles? It's the fucking best. So that was great. I was very happy. I cannot wait for them to explain because like the brother of Thanos. Why is Thanos that looking and you're that looking?
I know,
So,
right?
does that
Different moms.
confirm that? Wait, so is in the comics Thanos is an Eternal, right? Is he here?
No, in the comics, Thanos was a deviant.
Was he deviant?
Yeah, he had the deviant strain. But I think the thing with the comics is the eternal. So everything that the Celestials create or bear out are Eternals, but some Eternals have the deviant strain, like Thanos. I mean, that's my understanding. But either way, they haven't really explicitly. This might be like a different. Well, I want to have them explain why, maybe a stepbrother or something like that, right?
But they said in the movie, brother of Thanos, right?
Brother of Thanos.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I don't know Pip a lot, but I know him from Infinity Gauntlet. He's with
Yeah, he's
Adam
the-
Warlock, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't wait for that.
Exciting. And the
We get to the
end
post-
credit scene.
The post-credit scene. So Jay, the post-credit scene is basically Dane Whitman with a case in front of him, the symbol of his family crest. And then when he opens it, there's a Latin phrase that says basically death is my reward. And then it's as you open it, it's a wrapped sword with like bandages that has blood. Right, Zong? Was it blood?
Mhm.
and then he's like apprehensive and scared. But then as he goes near it, he's about to touch it. Something in the sword is like reacting to him, like it looked like a symbiote, something like that.
Symbiote, yeah.
Yeah, where it was like leaning, started to lean him, and as he was about to touch it, we get a voice that says,
Are you sure you're ready for that?
"Are you sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?" And the voice is Mahershala Ali, Blade.
Yeah.
Who has
Blade.
been announced
So that
as
was confirmed.
Blade.
Because like when I saw it in the cinema, it wasn't confirmed yet whose voice
Who-
that was. It took maybe a good 2 weeks before, like, all right, MCU confirms the voice at the post-credit scene of
It
Eternals
sounded
is
like him though.
Mahershala Ali's Blade. I thought it was Nick Fury.
Oh, for me, that was my first guess, Mahershala Ali, and I didn't get spoiled. So, oh my god. But yeah, so that's Eternals.
That's
Uh,
Eternals.
So good, so good. Let's go for
Oh, are
scores.
we ranking? Oof,
Yeah.
okay. It's gonna be a weird.
Well, let's go with Jong. Since you saw it first.
So again, I really enjoyed this film. It's beautifully shot as an origin story. It's actually a solid origin story, hampered by the fact that there's just too many people to provide an origin to. It's not only the 10 Eternals, but it's the concept of the Celestials, the concept of boring or bearing like worlds are inherently incubators for other celestials that will create new worlds. So that's the thing too. It's like it creates life. It creates more life. That's why it's important not to just you look at the celestials as something that
Bad.
that is bad, because like they're making billions of more worlds, right?
Sorry,
So,
guys. I'll be right back. I have a bit of an emergency upstairs. Go
okay.
ahead.
Go.
Lam.
So I think what I am going to leave with this is it is a 7.5. Right? It maximized, or it's too long to score higher, but any shorter would have sacrificed the story. Right? So it's this weird spot. Like you can't cut half of the Eternals to give them a little bit more airtime. You can't make a longer movie because it's just going to make it even worse.
I think it's just the topic. Like it is what it is. So because of the topic, it's hampering them. But then it's also what it needs to be. So yeah, I think that's fair. 7.5 is fair.
Yeah, I like it. How about you, CHUBAX? What did you score?
I don't know. For me, I just saw it today, but it's like an 8 to a 9 for me. I'm still fuzzy about it. But for now, I'll write it a 9 because I really enjoyed it. So maybe I'll revisit it after I've digested it properly. Or maybe try to watch it again.
I'm looking at the scores. It has a very low Rotten Tomato score of 47%.
Yeah.
Metacritic is 52, but IMDb at 6.6 is high. So the people that actually appreciate films kind of scores it a little bit higher, because it's when you hit 7 and high 6s in IMDb, it's a good score. So that's what I'm thinking about. Like, oh, this is going to be a weird ranking, because this is one of those movies that it gets better the more things around it are built, right? So the next, maybe the next Avenger where Kit Harington and or Gemma Chan actually joins the Avengers becomes a little bit better, or what of the Multiverse of Madness and whatnot, it will Eternals be a little bit more
But
used there.
think about that is also good, like what you said, where they're working on the multiverse area, but there's also this place where it's like the whole universe. It's also big, so it's that kind of gives them a lot of room to play with. So I'm happy.
That's the thing. It's like I love that they have a lot of room to play with. I just don't know if it'll resonate with the audience, because not all are fans. Like I realize that a lot of people that will score this low are the ones that, what if they've only seen one or two MCU movies and they don't understand the entirety of the space? They're still not familiar with comic books and whatnot. This is a tough film to understand. But luckily, this is the field that we play in, so we kind of enjoy it a little bit more.
True.
RJ is still out. Maybe we should pause the recording a little bit and wait for him to come back.
Okay, 1 second. Okay.
RJ's back with his
All right, I'm
ranking
back.
or rate or score for the Eternals.
Well, it still felt a bit long, but I did enjoy it. 2 hours and a half was a bit dragging at certain points. Story wise, rich, very rich, in fact. And I do hope that there still will be an Eternals 2. Looking at my ratings, I'll say it's about an 8.5, solid 8.5.
Pretty good.
Not bad, not good, not the best, but hopeful for the next ones.
Okay.
So still along the lines. With that, we've provided you with our rankings of the Eternals. Let us know what you think about Boba Fett, about Peacemaker, about Eternals, or any of the other movies and shows that we reviewed so far. As an extra, we'd like to remind you that we are on YouTube. Just search +63HP on the search bar, and you'll find our shows. Every week, we drop 3 different shows in our channel, in our podcast. Every Tuesday is this show. We review shows, movies, books, video games, everything that would deem to be good for entertainment purposes. On Wednesdays, we post our recording of our very, very first D&D campaign. And on Thursdays, we post reactions to featurettes, trailers, and other snippets of content that will be coming soon. So you'll have a bevy of shows. Feel free to watch any. They're all in our channel. They're all in any of our podcasts. So please do subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification button so that you know when we're dropping new shows. Next week, as a reminder, continuing in Boba Fett, we'll be discussing episode 4. Also, episode 4 of Peacemaker, and our movie of the week will be Ghostbusters Afterlife. Final goodbyes, Jay?
Well, if you guys haven't seen whatever we've showed today, please do so. You'll enjoy it as well.
CHUBAX?
Yeah, we got some good shows, so please catch up on them. You'll enjoy. Catch up on us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Zaddy out.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching till the end, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.